So friends, very good morning everybody. So welcome back to Rama Sharma's IPMT. Today is very favorite subject for most of you, very useful, that is microbiology and different pathogens. You know, every promoter or most of medical reps are promoted or are promoting some anti-infectives, some drug to treat infections. And infections are due to different organisms. And you know, the word for disease or infection is patho. Patho means infection or disease. So disease causing organism, we call them as pathogens. Now there are different pathogens and most of them are microscopic. Under microscope only we can see. So we call them as microbes. And study is microbiology. That is the study of organisms which you can see only under microscope. So now microbes are everywhere, in the air we breathe, in the water, in the food we drink, everywhere, even in your body, your skin, inside your body there are microbes. You know, microbes are inseparable from our life and they are not bad. Microbes are doing so many great things. They are part of your defense mechanism in your body and they are very important in manufacturing so many great things like some drinks, beverages are manufactured, with the help of living organisms, curd, yogurt, even bread, is by fermentation with the help of microorganisms, they are developed and manufactured. So microbes are good. Without microbes we cannot survive. If all microbes are disappear, believe me, the mankind also will be vanished. So they keep us survive. So all microbes are not bad. Let us know which are the disease causing microbes and different microbes. So the tiniest disease causing organism is virus. So virus is the smallest living organism on earth. Anything smaller than virus is non-living. So you can say this is at the borderline of living and non-living, at the borderline. Sometimes virus acts as a non-living, sometimes acts as a living. And virus has either RNA or DNA and very simple structure, only genetic material and there is an envelope, nothing else. No enzyme, nothing inside. Okay, so simple organism. And this simplicity is a great defense for virus, because to kill virus is also very difficult because there is nothing you can disturb. No enzyme, no metabolism process, no cell wall, no mitochondrial protoplasm, nothing, just DNA and either DNA or RNA. So antiviral drugs are very few and generally they are used many 2-3 drugs at one time for viral disease. So virus is the smallest living organism at the borderline of living organism and non-living, which infect, as there are many viral diseases, and the latest and the best now is the corona. You have seen COVID-19, all of you. Polio is viral disease, chickenpox is viral disease, and also HIV is viral disease. So there are common cold is the most common viral disease. So virus is the one which infect us. Okay. Now next to virus, before it was called as a large virus, now we know it is chlamydia. Now chlamydia is a little advanced than virus. This also has either RNA or DNA, but it has a developed cell wall. Not cell wall, it is cell membrane something, and it has some small enzymes inside. Very simple cell. And there are many diseases due to chlamydia. One is ophthalmic infection, that is chlamydia trachomatis or trachoma is caused by chlamydia. Okay, so this is one organism. So virus to chlamydia. Now chlamydia become a little more advanced and the next pathogen which infects us is rickettsia. So rickettsia has both RNA and DNA and small enzyme inside and little more developed, not cell wall, cell membrane, or you can say something envelope. And all three, virus, chlamydia, rickettsia, they are intracellular. They cannot survive independently. They cannot be grown in agar-agar or in a living media. They are intracellular. So they are also called as atypical pathogens. And the infection also are atypical infections. So the next is rickettsia. Many diseases are due to rickettsia, like there is one long name, Rocky Mountain Distorted Fever. This is a disease due to rickettsia. Okay. Now rickettsia become more developed, but again there is no cell wall. It has both RNA, DNA and developed enzyme inside, and it can survive independently. Okay, and that we call as mycoplasma. So mycoplasma is the fourth pathogen which infects us. Commonly in sexually transmitted disease it is there, and also in lungs, common place where this infect. So mycoplasmic pneumonia or atypical pneumonia is one due to mycoplasma. And there is no cell wall. Why I am telling cell wall, no cell wall? Because most or all penicillin, cephalosporin, they act through cell wall breaking, by breaking the cell wall synthesis. So there is no cell wall. So they are not effective against virus, chlamydia, rickettsia, mycoplasma. So now after mycoplasma comes the drug, the pathogen which all of you know, there is the bacteria. So now bacterium is the one. Let us focus on the bacteria. Okay. So because all of us we know bacterial disease and bacteria. Now bacteria is advanced then organism, single cellular, unicellular. Okay. It has developed cell wall, enzymes, and it can live in independent climate, independent media. Okay. Now most of drugs we call as antibacterial, bactericidal or bacteriostatic. What? Now bacteria we can discuss, learn, in different way, depending on the shape, like dot shape cocci, rod shape bacilli or bacillus, one way. Second, we can also discuss bacteria, classify bacteria based on the movement. Some have flagella like H. pylori has, movement like tail, like movement flagella. Some don't have, like that we can discuss. But remember, as a promoter, as a medical rep, the most common way for you to understand are two. One is depending on the use of oxygen. So some bacteria, they can survive in less or without oxygen. We call them as anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobes. An means absence. Anaerobe. These bacteria are in deep wound, and generally in osteomyelitis or diabetic septic food where blood supply is less, they grow. Okay, so anaerobic bacteria, and their infection is very dangerous. You need very special drugs. We'll discuss separately. For example, metronidazole infusion is common. Anyhow, so anaerobic, and mostly they are aerobic. So they grow with the help of oxygen, or they grow in areas where there is enough oxygen. And some are strict oxygen loving organism bacteria like mycobacterium, particularly tuberculosis, which grows in lungs. So 70-80% mycobacterium tuberculosis is found in lungs because highest oxygen in the lungs. Okay, so 80% is pulmonary tuberculosis due to aerobic bacteria. So remember aerobic, anaerobic, but this also don't focus much. The common and the most common classification of bacteria is based on the staining. They put a dye, red or blue, and then they see which the organism and bacteria they take, and based on that we classify into two types, gram positive and gram negative. Remember this. Now there are more than 40-50 name of bacteria. If I ask you which is gram positive, gram negative, you can't remember. Even I don't remember. So very simple way, gentlemen, remember gram positive. Because gram positive there are 5 or 6. All are gram negative. So why you remember 40 names? Remember 5 names And anything else, then you blindly you say gram negative, gram negative, gram negative. Okay? So gram positive, there are 5. Which are? One is the staphylococci. Staphylo is gram positive. Streptococci. All streptococci. Pneumonia or streptococci, epilepsy, streptococci, pathogens, whatever. Staphylo, aureus, staphylo, whatever. So staphylo, strepto are gram positive. Third is Corynebacterium. This is gram positive bacteria. And there is one anthrax. You know these, you remember long back, terrorists used to have anthrax powder sent in envelope. So this was nothing but the powder of anthrax gram-positive bacteria. And this spreads quickly and difficult to also, the good, that is a bioterrorism. In that they have used anthrax bacteria. So this is gram-positive, anthracis. And then there is one Listeria. Listeria monocytogenes is another gram-positive. And the next and the last is Clostridium. Clostridium difficile, which is due to overgrowth of non-susceptible organism in large intestine, generally associated with antibiotic overuse. So if doctor gives lot of high broad spectrum antibiotic, this Clostridium difficile overgrowth in large intestine, and this causes diarrhea, known as also pseudomembranous colitis. So these are gram positive. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all. Rest all are gram negative. H. influenza, gram negative. Proteus, mirabilis, proteus, whatever, retgri, or Pseudomonas aeruginosa, whatever name you think, Salmonella, typhi, Neisseria, all are gram negative. So classification is very simple. So now this is what comes in the pathogen, your bacteria. Now remember, bacteria, there is a special bacteria, as is acid fast bacilli, that is mycobacterium, which causes tuberculosis and also leprosy, lepre. Okay. Now this mycobacteria is at the borderline of plant kingdom and animal kingdom. This was the living or non-living. Now this is at the border of plant and animal. So from bacteria now a special bacteria will come, that is Actinomycetes. And Actinomycetes is at the border of plant kingdom. And the first plant is coming from this is fungus. This also infects us. Okay, fungal infections are very common in immunodeficient patients. Okay, so this is, but remember, fungus is non-chlorophyll containing plant, which is totally dependent, parasitic fungi. And from fungus comes the first plant, that is the algae, multicellular chlorophyll containing plant comes algae, and then higher plant. This is one. From bacteria, the first animal is coming, that is the spirochete, which is more developed than bacteria. Okay, and there is one very good disease caused by spirochete, that is Treponema pallidum, syphilis. Okay, so this is one, the first living at the borderline of the plant animal kingdom, and the first organism actually animal is the protozoa, single cellular animals. And protozoal disease are known to you, and the best everywhere is malaria, plasmodium, different falciparum and oval and all. So this is protozoal disease. Amoebiasis due to Entamoeba histolytica, trichomonas, which causes generally PID vaginalis, trichomonas vaginalis, trichomoniasis. They are discharged through vagina, trichomoniasis. Then plasmodium, I told you, giardia, which causes diarrheal disorder, giardia lambelia, which is also single cellular, and toxoplasma also is a protozoa, which particularly in threatened abortion it is there. Toxoplasma gondii is one. So these are protozoal diseases, and there are some other protozoa also. Now from protozoa, which is single cellular or multicellular organism, they come, and that is what we call as metazoa. So there are metazoal diseases. So metazoal diseases are, worms, pinworm, roundworm, threadworm, hookworm, all the worms, and worms are multicellular from, few millimeter to the few meters they are in your body and lying very nicely, taking all the nutrition on the top priority, totally parasites on your body, and worms has to be killed. Okay, so this is remember the different pathogens which infect us. And today in pharmaceutical industry, we have drugs which are exclusively antiviral. We have drugs which are effective right from chlamydia to the bacteria. We have drugs against worms, anthelmintic drugs like albendazole, mebendazole. You have heard this. These are for worms. Okay. Then there are drugs, antibacterial, are known to you all. Penicillin, cephalosporins, fluoroquinolones, aminoglycosides, macrolides. But remember just one thing. Among all the anti-infective, the broadest are two anti-infectives. One is macrolides, that is erythromycin or azithromycin. They cover right from almost chlamydia to the spirochete or even partly spirochete. All they have activity. So very widely used drug is azithromycin and erythromycin, in one. Second class is tetracyclines. Broadest tetracycline. They almost cover chlamydia or actual virus, chlamydia to almost protozoa or spirochete they cover. So very broad. They have anti-chlamydial. So they are used in chlamydia trachomatis, rickettsia. They are used in mycoplasma, bacterial infection, spirochetal infections. In syphilis they are used. Everywhere they are used. So these two group of anti-infective are the broadest, that is macrolides and tetracyclines. Chlorphenicol also is broad spectrum but not used due to adverse effect and better availability of drug. So I think with this small session, gentlemen, we have discussed about different microbes. But remember, microbes are they help us also. They are not all bad. For example, your skin has skin flora, and they are keeping the pH of the skin acidic, which is part of defense mechanism. In inside body, there are places, throat there is a bacterial flora which is doing good and keeping my defense strong. In females, in vagina, there are bacterial flora which is keeping the pH acidic and protects, against infections. In large intestine, there are big bacterial flora which is manufacturing, helping of many vitamins, and they are doing great good. So these are all microbes everywhere in our body and outside. Only remember, when they multiply quickly and produce toxins, that is what we call as infection. Staphylococcus aureus is generally found on the skin, but when there is a cut, when there is injury, now this goes inside, then this grows, overgrows and produces toxins. That is what is infection. So what is infection? When any microorganism or organism or macroorganism, when this grows in your body and produces unwanted toxic substances, that is what we call as infection. And infection is always bad, so you have to use anti-infective. That we'll discuss in our next video. So enjoy and learn well. All the best. Thank you.